with you my case for the day. This is a case of progressive motor neuron disease with spinocerebellar ataxia. It's a 43-year-old female who came to me first on 6th October 2016. The history was that in 1983 she had Japanese encephalitis. 2 years later, she started losing balance and started trembling. She was unable to walk on her own and needed support. This is in 1983, means 22 years before she comes to me. Now she is 43, so at the age of 11. In 2001, they did MRI and it showed cerebellar atrophy with thinning of the cerebellar peduncles. 2005, MRI indicates frontal lobe involvement. The cerebrum was affected. It's a progressive disease. So, what is this spinocerebellar ataxia? You see in this picture that green part, which looks like leaves, which is shown in the square on the right hand side, the small square. The green part is shown there again. That is the cerebellum. And the symptoms of spinocerebellar ataxia are unsteady walk, poor coordination, speech abnormality, nystagmus, food regurgitation in the mouth. This lady could not walk properly. She had to be held by her parents and she was shaking all the time like this. Can you see this? How the hands are going? All the time her whole body was shaking like this. So she couldn't write because the hand would go like this. She couldn't hold a cup because the hand would go like this. She couldn't read the newspaper because it would shake like this. So while walking, her whole body would shake like this. So she would like fall this side, fall that side, fall in front, fall backward, falling everywhere. So they had to hold her and slowly bring her. Her speech also was like, broken. One word, then other one, third word, fourth, coming out with a jerk. Because all the muscles were not working normally. This is a picture of the cerebellum. The green part you see on top and down, that is called vestibulocerebellum. The pink part is called spinocerebellum. And the blue part is called cerebrocerebellum. Look at the pink part. What does it say there? That arrow near the pink part. Regulation of muscle tone, coordination of skilled voluntary movement. So this is what was affected very badly. The blue part is the cerebrocerebellum. It does the function of planning of voluntary activity. I want to pick up this cup. This planning and this coordination of picking up the cup. And the green part is vestibulocerebellum, which is concerned with maintenance of balance and control of eye movements. This is another part of the cerebellum. These are called cerebellar peduncles. See, there is a purple part on top. The long arrow on top is one peduncle. Below that is the top one is superior peduncle. The lower and blue one is the inferior peduncle. And there is a big one which is called middle peduncle. So there are three peduncles in this cerebellum. What is a cerebellar peduncle? A cerebellar peduncle is a nerve tract that permits communication between the cerebellum and the other parts of the central nervous system. Three pairs of cerebellar peduncles conduct this communication. So what do they do? They take messages from to and fro from cerebellum and the rest of the nervous system. Cerebellum controls your balance. your movements. So in this patient, those peduncles have thinned, they have atrophied. The inferior peduncles bring sensory information about the actual position of body parts such as limbs and joints. My hand is resting on the table. So this inferior peduncle tells your brain that this hand is resting on the table. Actual position of the body. The middle peduncles transmit information about the desired position of these parts. So now I want to move this hand from the table and take it up. So the middle peduncle will transmit this information that desired position is now to move the hand up. After integrating and analyzing the information from these two sources, my hand is on the table and I want to get it up. This is the information. After integrating this information, the cerebellum sends impulses through the superior peduncles to the midbrain. This information is sent to the midbrain through superior peduncle. So in response, motor impulses are transmitted down through the pons, medulla oblongata and spinal cord to stimulate or inhibit skeletal muscles at appropriate times and cause movements of body parts into the desired position. My hand is on the table, then it needs to come up. I want to bring it up like this. Now once this message is sent by superior cerebral peduncle to the midbrain, once this information is sent to the midbrain, then the response comes that yes, move it this way. And the motor activity takes place. And your hand moves from the table upwards to the desired position. Now this part of her body, these cerebral peduncles were thinned out. They had become atrophied. They were not functioning properly. This activity makes rapid and complex muscular movements possible. So in our patient, these rapid and complex muscular movements were very difficult. So now you know exactly what has happened in this patient. The cerebellum is affected and the peduncles have become thin, and now the cerebrum also is not affected. Looks like such a hopeless case. And they came from some other state. They had to travel for about 4 hours to reach my clinic. So let's get back to this case. 1992 onwards, she started trembling. And since then, she has been on following medication: triperidol, Disipal, Pacitane, Sinemet, Topamac, Lonazep, Provenol SR. These are all, medicines given for cerebellar disturbance. These are all psychiatric and neurological treatment drugs, sedatives and tranquilizers. She was all on this all heavy medication. She's used to it now. For so many years, since 1992, she's taking all these medicines. If we have to cure slowly, we will have to taper off and stop these medicines also. That's what we did. So tremors started first with twitching in the neck and the right hand and proceeded to the left hand, followed by right foot and then the left foot. Whole body shakes when walking, twitching everywhere. Voice shakes when talking, so her speech is not clear. She is better by sitting and rest. And worse in the presence of strangers and when she is outdoors. She has back pain, which is more after and before menses and worse when bending. So inquired into her life situation and we found that she doesn't want to talk to anyone. She feels irritated. She gets angry. She feels tired and she wants to sleep. Obviously, the body moving like this all the time has to be tiring. When the problem started, I would not go out. I felt all her laughing at me. She spoke to us. Her voice was shaking, broken, trembling, but we could understand what she's saying. After Japanese encephalitis, I found that if I jumped, I would lose balance. I want cleanliness. I get angry when things are unclean. But now I can't clean. Her face becomes red when she's irritated, and she has fear of falling. Craving for sour and pickles, she feels very hot and she has a lot of perspiration. When she shakes, she gets perspiration over her whole body and she feels that her head is dirty and it smells offensively. So she says, I want to have bath, but I fear that I will slip in the bathroom and my problem will worsen. Her parents said that now she has become an angry person. She wants everything clean since childhood. She keeps everything in place. Before she developed encephalitis, she had gone for a public fair. She went for a feast, a festival, where a riot broke out. And she ran home with fright because she sensed danger. She was a 10, 11-year-old child that time. When she reached home, she was trembling and shaking with fear. So that was the cause. Her father and mother have diabetes, her aunt had tuberculosis, and uncle myocardial infarction. So he has in psychosis, tubercular, syphilis, SORA, ultimate. So that was the case. I'm telling you all cases in short, otherwise it will become very boring. So, what do we do now? All of you make a plan of treatment. Yes. We need remedies for multiple states, the constitutional state, the pathological state, the inherited miasmatic states. So let's first repertorize rubrics of the constitutional state. Rest cannot until things are in proper place. Cleanliness mania for redness of the face, offensive perspiration, desire for sour, and desire for pickles. Repertorize this, we come up with sulfur. You see, I have not taken any symptoms of the pathological state here. I have just taken the characterizing individual symptoms, the peculiar symptoms, which are representing the constitutional state. Sulfur and CPR come. Neurological case. Sulfur coming up, covering everything. We are going to need sulfur for a long time. Feeling very hot and feeling dirty on perspiration are confirmatory symptoms of sulfur. So sulfur was selected as a constitutional and antisoric. The term constitutional may or may not be correct here, but anyway, the repertorization pointed out to sulfur because it covers an individuality. And the rubrics of the pathological state have been repertorized separately. So we start with the cause. Cause, pathology, symptoms. Mind ailments from fright is the cause. Twitching after fright. All the muscles have started moving involuntarily, twitching. Ataxia. This is the pathology. Presence of strangers aggravates is a symptom which has developed because of this. And perspiration during convulsion. Whenever there are spasms, with that she perspires. And what came up was tremor, covering all this. Plumbum also covered everything. But the genius was the fright here. Fright is the main causative factor of stramonium. Stramonium is a remedy for a state of fright. So you see here, both the states are prominent. Sulfur state and stramonium state. So we need to give both at the same time. We cannot waste time here. Our disease is progressing. Since 22 years it has been progressing. And it is going to progress more and she is going to get bedridden unless some good homeopath can do some good job on it. So we started with sulfur 200 twice a day for a week. For the first week, she had to take twice in a day sulfur 200, and after that she had to take it every morning for 1 week. So for the first 15 days, it is going to be sulfur. At the same time, stramonium 33 times a day for 1 week. So in the first week, she is taking sulfur as well as stramonium. Second week, only sulfur. First follow-up was after a month, and she was definitely better. Speech was better. She says, I can read better now as hands don't shake. They shake a lot less. She can read. So she can read the newspaper and religious books. I can sit without support now. I can balance better when walking. Irritability was less. Taciturnity means she would be quiet and sitting in one place. That was better. Tiredness was less. This worked. So I thought it's better to give the antisyphilitic right now without wasting any time. So I gave Moxol 200 twice a day for 2 days. And I continued stramonium, the remedy for the pathology, 3 times in a day for a month, continuously. There are different ways in which I give the remedy when it is to be continued for a long time. We don't give the same potency every time. You do it, you increase it a little bit every time. One way to do is dissolve stramonium 30 in about half a cup of water, stir it well, drink half, keep the rest. Then add more water into it, fill it up to half again. Stir it well, drink half, keep the rest. Again, fill it up with water, make it half, stir it well, drink half, keep the rest. So every time it is diluted. So the potency is different every time. Or we put stramonium 30, 2 or 3 pills or 1 drop in a jar of water, which is filled 3/4 with water. Success it 10 times, take 1 tablespoon, put in about 8 tablespoons of water, that is half a glass of water. Stir it, take 1 spoon from the glass. Stir it for the next dose. Stir it again, take 1 more spoon. For the next dose, stir it again, take 1 more spoon. Next day, you give 10 succussions again. Again, take 1 tablespoon, put in half glass water, stir it, take 1 teaspoon 3 times. Every time, stir it well. So this way you are increasing the potency every time and you can give it for a long time. Usually LM potencies are given like this. So now I have given antisyphilitic and stramonium, and now I have reduced her allopathic medication. I said continue only Lonazep and Provasal SR, which is only once a day now, and stop all other medicines. She came back after a month. She says, I feel lazy and sleepy. I cannot bear light. Irritability is better, but I can't balance when I rise from a seat. And now she is only on 1 tablet of Lonazep in the night and 1 tablet of Provasol in the morning. Rest of all medicines have been stopped. Now the latest state was stramonium, which has been given for continuously for 2 months now. The stramonium state had come after fright. Now involuntary movement of the limbs has stopped. but there is very marginal improvement in the last 1 week. After significant improvement in the first month, which means stramonium has done its job for now. Now she needs a different remedy. This was my thinking at that time. I wanted to give another remedy which covers the exact pathology. So she is better with the stramonium and the sulfur, and probably with the merc also given. Not sure of that, but I gave the merc to treat the syphilitic miasm. But I want to give a remedy which covers the exact pathology for better results. So I studied her case again. So what is the pathology? It is spinocerebellar ataxia, which is because of spinocerebellar atrophy. Atrophy means degeneration, which is spinocerebellar degeneration. So this is how I looked at it. This is a progressive degenerative genetic disease with multiple types, each of which could be considered a disease in its own kind. This is what is written in the books about spinocerebellar ataxia. If it is a genetic disease, then the inherited miasm needs to be treated aggressively with antisyphilitic remedy and antisoric remedy. So we have given sulfur, we are going to use it for a long time now, and whenever possible we are going to use the antisyphilitic remedy also. What is the pathological process? It is atrophy. So I had to really sit and study this case. So how to do it? I had never handled this type of a case before. So I started searching the repertory. And then I thought, let me see what are the remedies that work definitely on the cerebellum. I opened the repertory and I searched for the word cerebellum. And I found two remedies listed there, Heloderma and Sulfonal. When I read Sulfonal from Boric, it was written cerebellar diseases and ataxia, weakness, irritability, difficult speech, vertigo, unable to rise, and staggering gait. This is exactly what she had. These are all symptoms of the disease. But every patient doesn't have this type of a disease. So it is not very common. It is uncommon to have such a disease. So we have to consider these symptoms and find something exactly similar to this. As Hahnemann also would prescribe only on the pathological symptoms sometimes. Like laurocirrhosis was given for the stroke followed by paralysis. So here I found a very good similarity in sulfonal. Another rubric I saw was atrophy or sclerosis of the brain. And I was looking for the antisyphilitic remedies there. And I saw aurum muraticum there. So now I gave aurum mur 200 twice a day for 2 days as antisyphilitic. Sulfur 200 once a day for 4 days. This is for the first 4 days. There is alternation of remedies. Followed by sulfonal 33 times a day for a week. The pathological remedy. And I saw her again after a month. She said she was worse in first 15 days as allopathy was stopped. Now she is better in the last 15 days after starting allopathy again. Just 2 tablets were on now, one in the morning, one at night. So they got scared because when they stopped it, she became worse. So they started it again. So she was now definitely better, not as bad as the first time, but she came back to whatever improvement had taken place after the last treatment. Now, because stramonium had helped very well first, I decided to give all the remedies this time. So, this is the first time I was making such a prescription of so many different remedies so close after one another. I gave stramonium 30 twice a day for 3 days. After a week, Auramune 200 twice a day for 2 days. After another week, sulfur 200 twice a day for 2 days. And after 1 week of that, sulfonal 30 twice a day for 4 days. So every week she is taking one medicine. In between there is a gap, no medicine. 3 days stramonium, nothing else. 2 days Auramune, nothing else. 2 days sulfur, nothing for next 5 days. Then sulfonal for 4 days. And then nothing for a week, and then she comes back to. So pathological remedy, antisyphilitic, antipsoric, and another specific pathological remedy. So this is 4th month. After means the next month she comes again, and she was much better. This worked really well. Balances herself better, can walk better. She feels heavy. And she was on Provasol 1 in the morning and Lonazep 1 in the night. We told them to reduce it to half. So half Provasol in the morning, half Lonazep in the night. Now I started with sulfonal again. Because every time I saw that after sulfonal the result was the best. So first I gave sulfonal 33 times a day for a week now. Immediately followed by sulfur 200 twice a day for 2 days. Then a gap of a week, and then antisyphilitic Auramune 200 twice a day for 2 days. I said, if she becomes worse any time in between, start sulfonal again 3 times a day for a week. So first week she took sulfonal, then the sulfur, then the Auramune, and then nothing for 15 days. With instructions that if she becomes worse, start sulfonal again. She came back after a month much better. That Lonazep was reduced to only half in the night. She says cannot bend forward for too long, but can balance properly. She loses balance, but it is much less. She was not able to drink tea before. How can you drink hot tea with your hand and head moving? You can't. It will fall off. You will get burned. In India, people drink tea very hot. So she was not able to drink tea before because her head would keep moving. That is better now, and she can have her tea. The head movement is better. She says, I can see and read. I continued the sulfonal 33 times a day for a week, followed by sulfur twice a day for 2 days. Again, after a week, Auramune 200 twice a day for 2 days. Repeated the same prescription because it worked very well. Again, after 1 month, she said that trembling increased again when she was asked to reduce the Provenol to alternate days instead of one every day. So the last we had told was take Provenol half on alternate days. Trembling increased, so she started taking half every day again. Again she has to take support while walking. Balancing is a problem. Body feels heavy, not able to move. And I have backache on bending. Because she was feeling heavy and again there was a recurrence. Now I gave antipsoric sulfur first, twice a day for a week, now for a little longer time. In alternation with stramonium again, 3 times a day for a week, followed by sulfur 200 once a day for a week. Something which was done, the first prescription was this. So I did a similar prescription. Sulfur with stramonium in the first few days and then only sulfur. Again, after a month she came and she was much better. The trembling of the body was better. Backache on bending forward is better. She can balance now. Walks without support. Heaviness of the body was better. She was much better. Again, I gave the antisyphilitic Auramune, 3 to 4 drops in half cup water, twice a day for 2 days, followed by sulfonal 33 times a day for a week, followed by stramonium 203 times a day for a week, followed by sulfur 200 twice a day for 4 days. Again, antisyphilitic, pathological. Another pathological covers the cause and the whole characteristic and the constitutional or antipsoric. all one after the other. This was experimentation which worked very well. This is the only case in which I have done this, but it really gave me good results. In August, a month later, she comes back. She says, I can balance much better. I can ride better. She became worse after starting Auromu, they said, and started improving only after it was stopped. So then I decided to drop Auromu. I thought maybe it is not required. So I gave sulfonal 33 times a day again for a week, followed by stramonium, followed by sulfur. So first week sulfonal, second week stramonium, and in the third week sulfur. And after 10 days, she has to come back to me. 10 days, nothing in between. After a month, she comes back. Trembling of the body has reduced a lot. Backache is better. Heaviness of the body is gone. She can balance now, walks without support. The best thing she told us on that day, they said she stays alone at home now without any attendant. The parents have been leaving her alone at home and they have gone out for some work. She can go out of the house by herself to open the gate without any support. So, the first time in her life since the disease started 22 years back, they have left her alone at home. She is managing the house, she does the cleaning, she reads, she has tea, she can walk out to the gate of the house and open the gate all by herself. We were so happy to see this. That day I recorded another video where she walks straight without losing her balance. She turns, she walks back again without losing balance. Amazing follow. These videos I showed in my Goa workshop in 2016, August. After that, I have not recorded any more videos. But the further treatment was that for the next 3 years, she has received higher potencies of sulfur off and on. Occasionally, sulfonal has been used. So no stramonium was used, nothing else was used. It's been sulfur and sulfonal. And overall, she is much better. She is at the stage where she can walk. She does shake a little bit, but she is doing things by herself. She can read, she can write. We would make her write every time she would come to us. She would write with great difficulty. But now she can definitely write better. She can read. You see, one remedy, second remedy, third remedy. Slowly, you are getting working towards making the patient more and more comfortable. It's not that you give one remedy and then everything is fine. No, you have to go on and on and on. So let's summarize what we have done in this series of lectures on rheumatism and neurology.